So just going through the refugee statistics from the UNHCR, it's a UN organization responsible for the refugee situation. We have overall 70.8 million people who are displaced for various reasons. Now, some of them are refugees, meaning that they've crossed international borders, over 25 million people right now, but you have also 41.3 million people who are internally displaced, basically refugees within their own countries. So that's also a big number. And then you have 3.5 million people on the road, asylum seekers, people who do not have the status. Another important thing to consider is basically that the top refugee hosting countries are not in the developed world or the Western countries. Usually this has been the neighboring countries of the country of origin. So countries like Sudan, Uganda, Pakistan. Only Germany, this is very interesting. So when I taught this session last year, we didn't have any Western countries. But this year, Germany has emerged as also one of the top refugee hosting countries. So one of the few Western countries. Which shows that this is also an issue here. Some of the concepts that we are discussing, you don't need to apply to the developing countries, especially with the refugee camp logistics that has an application within Germany or within Europe. And that makes it also very relevant and important. So it's very important to know how to assess whether a country has produced a lot of refugees. Why do they come? Why do we have some countries that have more refugees than others? So obviously one important reason is the pressure to migrate, right? There is some kind of genocide or war or conflict, whatever reason that makes people leave. But that's not the only reason why people can come, for example, to other countries. There's also the issue of network agility, and that means how strong the facilities or how easy accessible the facilities are. So it could be illegal facilities like smuggling networks, so how easy is to access that? How easy is to access a boat to just cross the Mediterranean Sea or the Aegean Sea to get into Europe? So, or maybe also official ways. In some countries, it's easier to access and use the UN programs to get resettled. Or some countries give like family reunification, maybe from Greece to Germany if you have a family member here. And so in addition to the pressure, the obvious reason, network agility is important to make an assessment. And then at the end of the day, total cost of migration is an important issue to consider. This means not only financial costs, so how much money you're spending, whether you go through the official ways, whether you pay the smugglers, but also in terms of the lives, whether you get drowned, whether it's, what is the perception out there. So when we want to look at the refugee situation, we use these three main elements to understand the status of refugee situation. Whether it's a high risk, we need to pay a lot of attention to it, and you need a strong supply chain to help people, or whether it's more manageable. So that's how you're going to assess the countries.